and it feels so weird to be saying that on camera again, but I'm back. And I get into all the reasons that I've been gone later on, but to come back, I thought what better way to do that than to go back to the beginning, and that's the beginning of my natural hair journey. Because when I started my channel, because people always ask me about my hair, I talked a lot about products and hairstyles and stuff, but that's not even that important to me. What is important to me is the rules that I used when I first went natural. So I remember the other day I was talking to my friend and I told her about the curly girl method, and she had no idea what I was talking about. And that's pretty much the method I used, y'all, when I first went natural. So I'm going to start with the breakdown of the fundamentals that I used when I went natural. So let's get into it. Okay, so back when I went natural, I was into trying to find all the in-depth information. Like, I wanted to go natural the perfect way, because I was like, you know what, if I'm gonna end up cutting off all my hair, I want to get it right. Okay, so there was a couple channels that I used to watch all the time, because YouTube is pretty much where I got all my information. So if I can find everybody, I'll put some of those channels down below. But one channel in particular used to talk about the curly girl method. And let's talk about what the curly girl method is. So I have my computer right here because I don't want to get anything wrong. And so the basis of it is no sulfates, no silicones, no mineral oils, and no drying alcohols. Sounds simple, but it can get real in-depth. The first thing that you cut out usually on a strict curly girl method is sulfates, and sulfates are found in pretty much every shampoo that's at your drugstore. They are what take out all the gunk out of your hair, but the problem with it is that it can strip your hair of all its natural oils and whatnot too. And the reason that they tell you to cut it out altogether when you're using the curly girl method is because when you first go natural, especially in general, curly hair is very dry. But when you first go natural, let me tell you from experience, your natural hair is so dry. And so they're trying to get you to refrain from further drying it out by using sulfates. Silicones. Now, silicones, it's a little controversy in the hair community, period. Natural hair, non-natural hair, whether or not silicones are good or bad. Silicones fundamentally are not bad. Because what they do is coat your hair and prevent it from freezing and things like that. So let's take, for example, like those serums that you use when you straighten your hair. They keep moisture out. So in that regard, they really can tame your hair. The problem though with silicones is that they can sit on top of your hair and prevent, if they're preventing water from getting in when you're out in humidity, they're going to prevent moisture from getting in your hair if you're not properly cleansing your hair. So you avoid silicones because you're avoiding sulfates. So it's not that you're avoiding silicones because they're necessarily bad for your hair, but you're not going to be able to, if you're not going to shampoo all the time with a sulfate shampoo, you're not going to be able to get the silicones out, and therefore you're not going to be able to get the moisture into your hair strands. So silicones, it depends on the way you're going to approach your curly girl method, and we'll get into that later. And the same thing goes for mineral oils and petroleum, because that sits on top of your hair as well. And we all know, if you use Vaseline, you know that water is not penetrating that. So once again, you'll have to use shampoo or clarifying sulfate containing shampoos or clarifying shampoos to get that out of your hair as well. And also in general, mineral oils and petroleum and stuff just weigh your hair down, so it's not going to be as bouncy and everything. So that's a whole another thing with that. So that's one that you also avoid. Did I follow the curly girl method 100% when I first went natural? Yes and no. I really was not shampooing. I wasn't shampooing week to week. I just, like, in the last year started shampooing week to week, and that's why I decided to start over and go back to this, because I do personally feel like shampooing every single week was drying my hair out. However, I do think that you should shampoo at least once a month. I would co-wash the other days, and basically what that is just using conditioner to get some gunk out of your hair, and I'll do another video on that later. But I would just not shampoo for like the first 3 weeks of the month, and then the last week of the month I would shampoo my hair to get out all the gunk and stuff out of my hair anyway, because at the end of the day you still need to cleanse your scalp. So yeah, and you still need to remove buildup from your hair, because even if you're not using sulfate containing products or whatever, natural hair products have a lot of oils and things in them, so you, at the end of the day, you need to properly cleanse your hair, to me, at least once a month. But that depends on the person. I can go 3 weeks without washing my hair with a shampoo, but everybody can't do that. So it depends on you. It's not a cut and dry rule, but it is best to try to at least avoid shampoo as much as you can. Just you don't have to go cold turkey with it, not shampoo at all, because first of all, not shampooing is not for everybody. And then another thing you can do is, if you do like to shampoo every week, you can use a sulfate free shampoo for those first weeks, and then the last week of the month maybe use a sulfate containing one to really get all the buildup out of your hair. Another wild card product that people have been avoiding for a long time are parabens. So you might see on the bottle it'll say no parabens, no whatever. Basically that's the ingredient that people have linked to cancer. I'm not sure about the scientific evidence about that. It's up to you. That's just a personal preference. That has nothing to do with the health of your hair or anything, but that's your personal health, like what you think it could possibly do to your body. So you'll have to look that up on your own, but that is something that people mention when they talk about the curly girl method as well. Okay, so now that I have decided to go back to a modified curly girl method, let's talk about what I'm going to do. So I will be shampooing. Now I am the type of person that can wait 3 weeks before I go ahead and do a really good shampoo on my hair. So for the first like 3 weeks, I'm going to just do a co-wash or use a cleansing conditioner to cleanse my scalp and everything, and I'll do another video on that later. But once a month I will be clarifying my hair using a sulfate containing shampoo. And if I do feel like in between that I want to use some type of shampoo, I'll just pick something that's sulfate free, which is something that they do recommend in the curly girl method. If you are a girl that feels like you need to shampoo and cleanse your hair thoroughly, to use a shampoo that's sulfate free for the most part, and then clarify periodically. I do personally very much so believe in clarifying at least once a month, because your hair can get really clogged and get a lot of buildup in it if you are not shampooing. So, but what I will be doing, since I am going to be avoiding shampooing with a sulfate containing shampoo the first 3 weeks of the month, I will be going back to implementing products that are silicone free. So I don't know. I'm really not the type of person that likes to try a whole lot of products though, because when a product doesn't work on me, y'all, I get so disappointed. And you know, natural hair products are not cheap, so I be trying to save my coin and use what I know. But I do want to try some new stuff, because sometimes I get bored with using the same old stuff. So yeah, but the only thing is I will be trying to use mostly all silicone free products, which is pretty much what I have. But there are some products I want to try. I will say, if I'm going to try a product that contains silicone, I'll just clarify that week. So yeah, I'm not gonna be as strict as I was, but I do feel like when I started shampooing all the time, my hair was drier and more limp. So yeah, that's something I really want to go back to implementing. So if you haven't been following the curly girl method, how do you start it if you do want to try it out? The first thing you have to do, you have to start out with clarifying, because of course if you have been using silicone containing products and everything, you have to get all of that out your hair. So first you're going to start out with clarifying, and after you clarify, we've already talked about the avoidance of silicones in the curly girl method. That's one of the ones that's very like strenuous if you're going to avoid the shampoo, well, sulfate containing shampoo for the most part. So after you clarify, we're going to go in with a silicone free conditioner, and then after that we're going to deep condition with the silicone free conditioner. You follow me. All right, next we're going to get into styling. same thing, avoid things with silicones, avoid drying alcohols. If you use, that's more for girls who use a lot of gels in their hair. I really don't do wash and goes, I mostly do twist out, so that's not really much of an issue for me. But if you're a type of person that likes to use gels, you just need to make sure you're doing your research and finding gels that don't contain drying alcohols, because the whole purpose of the curly girl method is to restore moisture into your hair so it can be healthy and bouncy and beautiful. So when it comes to ingredients, I really don't like to read all the ingredients. For the most part, the main rule that I used to follow is if the first ingredient in my hair product was water, that was excellent. But with the curly girl method, you do need to pay attention to the bottle and the ingredients. I mostly just look online for products to see if they're curly girl friendly, so I'll put some resources that I use down below. So before I go buy a product that I'm thinking about purchasing, I'll go and look it up and see if it's curly girl friendly. So that's how I do it. But there are also a list of ingredients if you are the type of girl who enjoys looking at ingredient lists or don't mind looking at ingredient lists. I'll put some resources down below for that as well. Will it be an overnight success? No. It still takes a lot of patience to put the moisture into your hair because, like I said, natural hair is naturally dry, especially when you first go natural. So is it immediate results? No. You have to keep at it for a couple months. I would say it took at least 2-3 months to really see it work. But I could feel a noticeable difference. That's what made me stay the course when I first started it, even though it's not immediate results. I mean, if your hair is dried out, just using conditioner is not going to immediately fix it overnight, you know. So yeah, I would love to know what y'all think about the curly girl method, and I'm super excited about the series, super excited to see the effect it has on my hair. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.